Good evening, everybody. This is Will Tiller and Mike from 10-4 Broadcasting. We're bringing you live action of the High Octane Sim Series here. And tonight we're at the road course at Daytona. Mike, how you doing here tonight?
Good. How are we looking this week?
Man, we are looking good and ready to rock here at the High Octane Sim Series. And I have never seen this course other than in the NASCAR series. So again, I'm getting a fresh dose of some road course racing here tonight. So we'll see which drivers are skilled on this a little bit of left turns and right turns, if you will.
Yes, this is the NASCAR version of the Daytona road course that drivers are running this weekend. Not the road course you would see in the Rolex 24, but just a little bit of a tweaked version of it.
Now, first, for somebody like me who hasn't ever raced this track before or seen this track on iRacing, what are the viewers in store for here tonight, Mike?
Well, for a Cup Series, it's going to be a tricky race for sure. You know, you're going to have one driver going to have a big lead, but it's going to be a handful.
A handful indeed, Mike. And we'll keep an eye out on who's going to be the champion here at the road course. I know one road course that we broadcasted here on 10-4 Broadcasting in the Powerhouse Racing League, we saw a champion pull out to about a 17-second lead at the Glen. So we'll see what kind of racing, competitive racing we'll have here tonight. But it's always competitive here in the High Octane Sim Series, and I think we're in it again for tonight as we're watching the 51 machine take his laps here in qualifying. We'll see who's going to lay down that pole position here in tonight's event. And please stay tuned for the drop of the green flag because we are doing a special memorial here tonight. Unfortunately, one of the drivers here in this league lost his mom on Wednesday, and we're all incredibly sorry about that. And all of our prayers and thoughts are with him and his family. And boy, what a loss, Mike.
Definitely losing a family member is not easy.
It's
Hope,
not indeed.
hopefully we can put on a great race for you. I'm told that you might be watching in the audience, and hopefully your driver here can win.
Of course, Mike, and hopefully some competitive racing here tonight at the road course at Daytona will able to take your mind off of things for a little while. I know it's never easy to get over those type of things. We actually suffered a loss in our family on Wednesday as well, so definitely a somber week for a lot of us here in the community. But maybe some racing here at the Daytona Road Course can take our minds off of things for a little bit and not necessarily take the pain away, if you will, Mike, but definitely take our attention away for a little bit.
Definitely, as we look into qualifying's roster, we see that Parker Collins is top of the charts right now.
Parker Collins had a really good run last week. Actually, he picked up the victory for Tiny Dog Racing at Kentucky last weekend. So keep an eye out on him and Darren's staff to run an excellent race here tonight. As we're taking a look at qualifying here at the Daytona Road Course, got Parker Collins on top of that board so far, and Matthew Badby, who's always a fire racer, if you will, here in the High Octane Sim Series. He's our points leader at the moment. He is a second right now in qualifying. I do want to give a shout out to those Compton brothers. I kept saying it was St. Patrick's Day machines, but they are rocking color schemes in honor of their dad who passed away. So big shout out to those brothers there and honoring their dad each time they race. And this season, both the brothers have raced really well in this series, Mike. And I know he's been your pick throughout these last couple races, and hopefully he can put that thing in victory lane here tonight.
Definitely, as we see Riley Hoots enjoying some flying action here at Daytona. See Matthews in the chat. No problem, Matthew. Glad we can take some minds off and hopefully put on a great show tonight.
Of course, Matthew, all of our deepest sympathies are with you and your family here tonight. And this race is, of course, dedicated to your mom, who passed away on Wednesday. And again, all of our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. And we appreciate you even taking the time to tune in here tonight. And man, all of our thoughts and prayers again are with you and your family. And I couldn't imagine such a loss, Mike. And man, it's nothing I think anybody wants to go through. And like I said, hopefully we can provide just a slight distraction for everybody here tonight, and in for a big race, and we'll see who's able to put that car into victory lane. And if it's a first-time winner on the season, that's going to lock them into the playoffs for the rest of the way here in the High Octane Sim Series. And Mike, we're creeping up towards that halfway point here in the season, and once you start racking up these victories, you can solidify your spot in the table, and it's going to be the top 10 guys right now. It's the cutoff line, but like I said, it doesn't matter where you're at in the points table. As long as you get that first victory on the season, you are locked in and ready to rock.
Definitely. As we see the NASCAR chicane, this is the little bit of an improvement that NASCAR has done to improve the racing on the road course for the NASCAR guys, not the sports car guys. But as you can see, this is a chicane. It's going to be a lot of troubles for a lot of drivers. I know last year and the year before when he introduced this track, this was one of the toughest tracks to run a stock car. But hopefully we can put on a great show here.
Now, Mike, as far as racing goes here at this track, I know a little bit about the road course at Daytona from the 24 hours at Daytona and things like that. With only 5 sets of tires in tonight's event, are we going to see a lot more pit stops going on as we would, say, a super speedway or a regular speedway race?
I'm going to say no. And the reason why is that the tires are going to be a whole lot different on a road course than they would be on an oval uh, or even a short track. You know, your drivers are going to get spread out and they're going to get spread out fast. Trying to keep everybody together is going to be very hard.
Of course.
As we see Rye Lewis almost blowing the last turn going on a NASCAR 1. That's the infield exit. Coming down on NASCAR 1.
Still taking a look at qualifying here, Mike, and taking a look at that leaderboard going across the top here. I'm curious to see which driver here in the High Octane Sim Series has those road course skills, if you will. Like I said, we broadcast. Oh, as you see, the 20 machine get a little feisty going into that corner. Didn't brake soon enough to make that left. And I like how at the Daytona road course, it kind of reminds me of the Charlotte road course, where you actually have to go up onto the track and then kind of come back down into the road course. It kind of makes it a little bit more interesting than, say, like a Watkins Glen or something like that, where it's basically just a straight out road course. This one, you actually can build up some speed on those bankments and then come back down into the corners.
Definitely. I know that these guys are using a different setup. I believe what they would normally use. But knowing everybody's on the same setup, it's less of an advantage. But as we see, Rye Lewis holding that chicane a little bit different, but that's something in NASCAR. You see if they screw up the chicane, you have to stop. iRacing doesn't have that feature yet, but you get a little bit of time penalty for that. As Rye Lewis and believe Derek Schilling has not put a lap time in. I'm being told by NAS League officials that it is the stock iRacing setup for Daytona Road Course. I apologize to everybody out there.
we'll keep an eye out on the cars on the track here tonight, Mike. Because I know at Kentucky we saw a lot of speed, but a lot of things changed throughout these races here in the High Octane Sim Series. Whether it's pitch strategy, whether it's a fuel window, whether it's craziness towards the end of the race. Keep an eye out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of who's going to have the best strategy. I figured out that that's the name of the game here in the High Octane Sim Series. The strategy wins you races. Um, Whatever strategy that is, maybe it's staying out a little bit later, maybe it's pitting sooner, maybe it's only taking 2 sets of tires or something like that. But definitely keep an eye out on those strategies, those big moves throughout the race. And Mike, we saw it last week here in the High Octane Sim Series. It was actually Parker Collins who made that decision to stay out a little bit longer. His teammate actually hit before him and got caught up in some craziness towards the end of the race, and it actually was Parker who crossed that finish line first.
Yeah, strategy is definitely going to be a big key in this Daytona Road Course event. From past experiences, it's the leaders. If the leader checks out, you want to play, catch up. You don't want to overdrive your corners. You want to make sure you keep hitting your marks because they can sneak up real fast.
They definitely can, Mike, and keep an eye out on that here tonight, Mike. And if you wanted to jump over to Discord for a second just to see some information about tonight's drivers. It looks like qualifying is all wrapped up here at Daytona. And we're going to start this race here momentarily, Mike. But I know there is some special dedications that are going to be taking place before this race drops that green flag here tonight. And we'll stay tuned for that. And we encourage everybody to tune in as well for that here tonight. We're going to be honoring Jill Michelle Wilson Sides here tonight. Unfortunately, she passed away on Wednesday, and that's Matthew Wilson's mom, driver here in the High Octane Sim Series, and gonna do a special thing for him and his mom here tonight, and the rest of their family. And man, all of our deepest thoughts and sympathies that go out to all of his family and everything that they have to go through in this dark time. And we wish would just be a pleasant distraction for them here tonight. And taking a look at the race here tonight, Mike, the weather is going to be a nice and breezy 71 degrees out there. Partly cloudy with about 5 miles of wind. Precipitation is going to be about 62%. But here we go, Mike. We're going to run. You might be a little bit more familiar with this, and I'll run through the starting lineup real quick for everybody here. We're going to have Parker Collins starting on the pole position. Points leader Matthew Badby right behind him. Riley Hoots in the number 3 position, Nicholas Compton in the 4, David Medina in the 5, Bob Curl in the 6, Ryan Clark in 7, Zachary Compton in 8, Darren Staff in 9th, Kelly Thomas in 10th, Alan Bledsoe in 11th, Nick Shell in 12th. I believe is that Rye Lewis bringing up the back of the pack. Derek Schilling. We're going to run through that here real quick. Nick Shell, James Broskers going to start 13th, Rye Lewis in 14th, Derek Schilling in 15th, and Mike, if you wanted to bring our viewers up to speed of what's taking place right now here, you might be a little bit more familiar with what they're doing here tonight.
I believe they're going to be running an additional memorial lap. I'm waiting for officials to give me the official word if it's going to be this lap or it's going to be the next lap, as we do see the lights on the pace car are on. And what we're going to do is when the pace car hits the start finish line, we are going to have a moment of silence for the opening lap.
Of course, Mike, and we're also running what's called a missing man formation. It's going to, as you see, the pace truck leading the way here around the road course. There's a missing car at the top of that formation, ladies and gentlemen, and that would be the car of Matthew Wilson, who unfortunately is not racing here tonight due to the unexpected passing of his mom on Wednesday. So we're going to honor her with that missing man formation. And as we see that pace truck leading him away here, and Parker is going to have that missing car next to him on that front row. And man, all of our deepest sympathies and thoughts are with him and his family, and we hope this dedication here. And We have her picture up on the screen here, and as Mike informed the viewers here, once that pace car does cross the line here, we are going to run a lap of silence in dedication to Jill here. Like I said, all of our deepest sympathies go out to his family. Keep an eye out. Once that pace car does cross the line, we'll take that moment of silence in honor of her. As we come back onto the air here, ladies and gentlemen, we were running a moment of silence for Jill Michelle Wilson Sides, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. She was the mom of Matthew Wilson, a driver here in the High Octane Sim Series. And Jill, I know you're going to be watching wherever you are, and all of our thoughts and prayers and love and support are going to be thrown Matthew's way in this dark time. And We just want to wish him and his family all the best through this tough time and dark time. And man, it's tough not to get emotional up here in the booth, Mike. And we suffered a loss here in our family this week, and nothing we can say or nothing that we can do here on the broadcast will take that pain away or take that hurt away. But like I said, I hope that we can provide somewhat of a distraction here tonight in this dark time. And as we see, pace cars lights are off, and we are about to go racing here at the Daytona Road Course here in the High Octane Sim Series. And again, all of our thoughts, prayers, and everything are with Matt's family here. We wish him all the best, and we know that she's going to be watching tonight's race here. And man, Mike, it's tough not to get sad.
Definitely, just remember all the memories you had. You know, someone once told me, you know, always look towards the future and move forward, but never forget what you cherished.
Indeed. It's definitely not an easy time for anybody that has to suffer any kind of loss. And you know, Jill's gonna be watching this race here tonight. We want to dedicate this race to Jill, Miss Sides and Miss Wilson Sides, and we appreciate all the work that her son does here in the High Octane Sim Series. And he's one heck of a racer here in the series. And you know, she's gonna be watching from wherever she is. Dedicate this race to her entire family, to Matthew, and we wish them all the best here. And we are green here at the Daytona Road Course, and let's go racing here tonight, boys, in the High Octane Sim Series.
Our first incident going into turn 2 involving David Medina.
Funky Cold Medina, Mike. That is Funky Cold Medina and that number 9 machine. And that first corner is going to be a little tough, especially to start the race. You come in with so much energy, so pumped up to race this race, you almost forget that you got a break in that first corner. As we already see a little bit of damage on the back of that 45 as he's going to go for a little Tokyo drift around the corner there. As you see the back bumper of Darren Staff's already a little banged up there in that 45 machine. And Darren ran up there with his teammate most of the race there at Kentucky, Mike, but unfortunately he was caught up in some late race action and wasn't up there to push his teammate across the line, and Parker Collins. But Parker came away with the victory last week at Kentucky. Keep an eye out on Tiny Dog Racing, Mike. They are hard charging here in this season.
Speaking of racing, told by Matthew Wilson that he's shooting to be back at Richmond next week, and we look forward to your return and hopefully have you on the broadcast next week.
Yeah, and Matthew, we wish you all the best, man, and all of our deep sympathies are with you. And of course, take your time with everything, and we wish to see you back here in the High Octane Sim Series as soon as possible, but take all the time you need, man, in this dark time. And wish you all the best. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. And well, I guess some of the cars here tonight, Mike, are actually running a memorial scheme for his mom here tonight. I believe a lot of the drivers on his team are running a certain paint scheme.
As we see, I'm getting reports from track officials that we've seen a couple cars crash. And as we talked about at the start of the race, this is the NASCAR bus stop. This is definitely a tricky corner. As we get back live to the action.
And Mike, I believe the cars that are running that special banner for Matthew's mom here tonight is going to be the number 3 machine of James Brosker, the number 24 machine of Riley Hoots, the 42 of Darren Staff, the 48 of, I don't have my roster of me in front of me right here, but the 48 machine, the 51 and the 89. Actually, the 48 is Matthew Wilson, so Matthew is, of course, not going to be racing here tonight. He'll be back as soon as possible. He says Richmond, but of course, we want to advise him to take all the time he needs, and he'll always have a spot here in the High Octane Sim Series, and we'll take a look at some of those banners that those boys are running here tonight in the High Octane Sim Series, and racing in honor of her. And of course, this race is dedicated to her tonight. Love to see one of his teammates put one of those machines that has that banner in victory lane here tonight. Taking an eye out on this action here. It's still Parker Collins leading the way in that 54 machine. We're on lap 3 here at the road course at Daytona.
And as we talked about, as these drivers go through the kink, that, once you get out front, it's going to be, you're going to be fighting a racetrack more than fighting the drivers around you.
Of course. And Mike, for people that are unfamiliar with this track, or maybe just unfamiliar with, say, the road course at Daytona, what does it mean by the bus stop? If you could break down, what does that mean, and how does that apply to here at the road course?
Well, normally in a stock car, you're definitely going to want to enter a lot sooner than you do a GT car. We've seen everybody talk about oh, it's the Rolex 24 this. As we go on board with our race leader, you can hear in his throttle, he's very, very off the throttle. He's not fully on the throttle like he would be in a sports car. Again, Daytona road course, yes, it's one of those special racetracks, but for a stock car, I don't think it was a smart move. I understand the conditions and the reason behind it running Daytona road course. We heard about stuff going on in, I believe, California. They canceled the California race, so they ended up needing a track, and NASCAR owns Daytona, so they just might as well use the track.
Of course, and I appreciate seeing the driver's skill of some of these guys here, because we know what they can do on speedways. We know what they can do on super speedways with the restrictor plates and the drafting and the bubbles and all that good stuff we see at the speedways. But I really like it when these drivers get a chance to take on a course. You really see what these drivers are made of. You really see their driving skill. You really get a little bit more work on your steering wheel, if you will, because on a steering wheel, you're usually just turning left at a speedway. But on this one, you get to move it right a little bit and left, and you get to use the brakes as well. So you really get to see the prime driving skill out of these guys here tonight at the road course at Daytona. Taking a look at that top of the leaderboard there, it's still Patrick Collins leading the way in that 54 machine. He was last week's winner at Kentucky. And Mike, when we spoke to him in Victory Lane, he didn't seem too encouraged or excited about this track here tonight. I don't think anybody really is taking on a road course, but he's really showing what he can do. As we're taking a look at the 20 machine of Bob Carroll, and Bob's ran a really good season as well. Just hasn't been able to put that car in victory lane yet here on the season, but we do appreciate those paint schemes there. And that 27 machine of Bob Carroll.
I believe when we talked to Collins last week, he was like, oh, I might not even run the road course. 5 laps in, he's leading with a almost 3.5 second lead going on 4.
Really putting it on here at the road course, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to let everybody know of our stages here tonight at the High Octane Sim Series event here at the Daytona road course. We're going to run stages of 15 laps. That's going to bring us to the end of stage 1. Stage 2 is going to be 30 laps, and then of course to close out the race it's going to be 55 laps. Drivers here tonight are going to be running 5 sets of tires, and of course keep an eye out on the number 3, the 24, 42, and the 51 who are running banners in honor of Matthew Wilson's mom, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. And this race is dedicated to her tonight. Can say it enough, but all of our best wishes and thoughts and prayers and everything are sent your way. Of course, like we said, nothing that we say up here in the booth can really ease any pain, but hopefully we can just provide a distraction here tonight. And Mike, these boys are really going at it here to open this race out.
Most definitely. I can't pick a favorite this week because road courses it's different than an oval or a short track.
Yeah, we're seeing a battle take place here. We saw that David Medina get a little loose on that first lap, but he's really got his car back on the track there as we see one of the machines go off the track there. It looks like Darren Staff is mixed in the middle of these machines here. That's the 87 right there as well. Eric's that's chilling here in the 87. Darren Staff is wedged in between those guys, and it looks like is that Bob Carroll behind Darren there, bringing up there. And we're looking at a battle here in the back of the pack there. That's a battle for the top 10 position there, Mike. Guys are really battling it out already. You see already some damage on the back bumpers of these machines, especially there of David Medina. Again, it looks like that first corner there, Mike. It's really causing the drivers a lot of trouble. Is it just because you got to go on the brake so fast, or is it just you're not ready to make that turn just yet?
It's because you're coming on at turn 4 out of this NASCAR chicane. We'll actually go live on board with Parker Collins, and we'll see as he goes into turns 1 that you're almost in full speed, but then you're braking down heavy to make that corner. You don't want to be on the throttle too soon, or you'll be spinning around.
Now, Mike, somebody that might be unfamiliar with iRacing, as we're taking an onboard look at Parker Collins here in the 54 machine, and these onboard cameras are brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. Do you prefer like a gearbox shifter on your simulator, or do you prefer paddle shifters on a track like this?
And in road course, to me it's paddle shifting, because you don't want to be in a fierce battle and downshifting, constantly in the corner. As far as road courses and stock cars, yes, Daytona is my favorite, obviously, because it's a Rolex 24. I've done it a couple years since the start of it on iRacing. 4-time winner with that series when it started. Other than that, it's Daytona road course and the stock cars. I think it's a little different ballgame. Yes, we've seen a couple years ago. It was the IROC series that came here, and those were amazing cars. But again, stock cars and the road course, Daytona road course, I don't think so. My go-to track in the stock car is Watkins Glen. Yes, I'm from Pennsylvania, which means Watkins Glen just down the road. But that is my favorite track when it comes to stock cars. As we see Riley Hoots getting back on the throttle a little too fast, and that back end coming around just a tad bit.
As we're talking about shifting, I'm taking an onboard ride here with Riley Hoots, and Riley's running in the 3rd position. The field's got a little spread out here. Riley is about, let's say, 8 seconds behind Lear, as we're starting to see a few guys head down pit road, get those early pit stops out of the way. And Mike, I was going to ask you, because we're talking about shifting and everything, some of the things that we don't get to talk about at a speedway or super speedway. What's the lowest gear you're going to hit at a track like this? Is it first? Are you going to go all the way down to first gear, or is it you kind of get it down to second, you get the engine to rev up, and then you're able to upshift again going out of the corner? Or is it just you kind of want to shift down 1 or 2 to keep that speed and then shift it back up?
Well, at this track and other small tracks like Sonoma, first gear is your best friend, but you're going to want to be able to get into second gear fast, because you step on that gas, it's going to spin. You're going to hear your tires spinning in the back, you're going to feel it, and you're definitely going to want to shift back into second gear real quick. So me, for not being confident on this type of track, second gear would be the best choice for me.
Second gear just to drop it down and then get those RPMs revving back up into the corner. And If we could take a outlook at the rest of the field here, as you see, Riley Hoots is now about 10 seconds behind the leader here. We're taking a look at that Napa Auto Parts car there. I believe is that the 89 machine, if I can get that number on the side of that machine there. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this field has spread out a lot since the drop of this green flag. That is our points leader right there, Matthew Badby, running a different paint scheme here tonight than he usually does, but he's a 3-time winner on the season here, Mike, and he has solidified his spot at the top of the table, locked himself into the playoffs, all of the above. He is ready to rock for those playoffs, but he hasn't let off at any point yet, Mike. He is racing for that win every single week out of this series in the High Octane Sim series, and he is running in the second position. And it seems as though a few laps that go by, he is closing that window just a tad on Parker in that 54 machine. But ladies and gentlemen, we are about to be less than 6 or 7 laps to go here in this stage 1. This race is starting to fly by a little bit. We'll start seeing things get a little bit more hairy once the field bunches back up, once that competition caution comes back out here on the track. Taking a look at the rest of the field there. After Matthew Badby, it does fall off quite a bit. Third position is going to be that Riley Hoots, who we took a onboard ride with there. But Riley's got some competition creeping up behind him, and that's Compton in that 80 machine. 42 of Bledsoe is then a little bit further behind of those guys, about, let's say, about 14 seconds behind 4th place. So after Compton in that 80 machine, it does seem to drop off just a tad. But again, once this stage ends at lap 15, you'll see this field bunch back up. And Mike, how do you see this race playing out here at Daytona? As somebody with a lot of experience at a road course, you said you've ran this 24 hours at Daytona. What are some of the things, or how do you feel like this race is going to play out here tonight?
To be honest, I think this race is going to play out different than what you would normally see on an oval or road or dirt track, I should say. Dirt track in mind. NASCAR goes to Bristol next week. So, in that mindset, you're going to want to battle the track, not the car. If you battle the car, you're going to mess up. And to be confident in yourself, you want to make sure you're battling the track. You know, we talked at the start of the race, you know, the weather of the race, 71 degrees. You know, definitely the track's going to be a little bit slick. So that's one thing you got to be careful running your times. You don't want to blow out tires. You don't want to overshoot tires. You don't want to overshoot corners. You know, we see the start of the race, a couple of drivers did overshoot the corners, but now everybody's spread out, running their own race, and less incidents. I am being told by our in-garage reporter that Derek Schilling has taken his car to the hauler, and he's going to set up and send it to Richmond as we see pit stops for Nicholas Compton.
As we see that 87 machine of Derek Schilling go ahead and pack up to go to the next track there, Mike. Is it hard to keep your motivation? Is it hard to keep a positive mindset as you see the leaderboard as a pretty fanned out here? You got to keep it kind of in the back of your mind that you know that you still got a chance in this race, even though the leader might be 13, 14, 15 seconds in front of you. How do you keep that winning mentality, if you will, throughout this race?
Well, when it comes to a road course, especially like an endurance race like the 24 hours that past couple years have done, you might be, you know, out for 2-3 hours. But guess what? You could still be in that come the end of the race because the leader can make a mistake. One small, simple mistake can change the whole strategy of everybody. I'm not gonna bite my bullet, but I'm gonna say going into turn 1 to 54 can overshoot the corner. That can drive people down pit road, get their service, come on out before the 54 gets back on.
54 is still leading the way here at the road course at Daytona, here in the High Octane Sim Series. And this race is being dedicated to Jill Wilson Sides, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. The mom of Matthew Wilson, a driver here in the High Octane Sim Series. dedicate this race to her, her entire family, to Matthew, and of course all of our deepest sympathies and thoughts and prayers and everything are with her and her family and Matthew and would have lost suffered by that family there, and my family suffered a loss on Wednesday as well, and it was a dark time, a dark week for a lot of people here, not only in this high octane sim series, but a lot of people around the world. But our main focus here on tonight's race is on Jill and on Matthew and all of the people affected by her unfortunate loss on Wednesday. And again, all of our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and we want to maybe provide just a little distraction here tonight, a high octane sim series for that family. And it was an unexpected loss for their family. And Jill, I know you're keeping an eye out on everybody here tonight and watching this broadcast. And we want to just again send our deepest thoughts and prayers to Matthew and his family here tonight. This race is dedicated in her memory. And each caution flag that does come out, instead of showing our regular sponsor of the Jack House Steakhouse, I don't think I've ran it by anybody, but I think it would be okay if we just showed her picture during the cautions and maybe stayed silent during those caution laps, just in a dedication and a memorial to her. But back to the racing here at the road course at Daytona. It's still Parker Collins leading the way. Riley Hoots is in that 24 machine. So he did make some pit stops, Mike, but he is about 18 seconds behind our leader, but I don't believe our leader has gone down pit road yet. And here he comes just now. Call me Notre Dame because I predict these things. Mystic Mac. I like Mystic Mac just a little bit better because I predict these things. The 54 is going down pit road here. We're going to have 4 laps to go here in stage 1. We take a look at Parker Collins, and Parker picked up a big win last week, became only the 2nd driver here in the High Octane Sim Series to have multiple wins on the season. Going to put him right behind the points leader of Matthew Bagby and lock himself into the playoffs here. Keep an eye out for Tiny Dog Racing and his teammate Darren Staff, who's really come on strong here the last couple races, but unfortunately got caught up in some late race accidents there at Kentucky. But keep an eye out. There he is here on the track. Darren Staff, keep an eye out for them as Tiny Dog Racing has let the dogs out, if you will, in the few last couple races here in the High Octane Sim Series. And Fry Lewis is also a member of that team, but he's had some unfortunate events as well here in the last couple weeks. But ladies and gentlemen, we got 4 laps to go here in stage 1 at the road course at Daytona. Keeping an eye out as we see this field is a little spread out. Take a look at Darren Staff, who is heading down pit road there. You see that Tiny Dog Racing moniker on the side as you see the 31 get way out on the grass there. He's still keeping those tires spinning out on the grass. He's going to keep that big. Oh man, that was close, Mike, but you saw him slam the brakes there.
Definitely. As we were talking about pit stops, Parker Collins went down to pits, 4 seconds in his pit box, enough to get fuel to last to the end of the stage.
That's one of the things we talked about, Mike, is that strategy. And that might be one of those strategy things that he gets his car back out there, he can get a good finish here in stage 1, and not really have to worry about until that next fuel window that comes up. Because that, you know, as you mentioned, tires might not play a major factor in tonight's race just because you're not putting as much wear on them as you would say a super speedway or a speedway race. So I think it might be one of those fuel races as we saw throughout this series here. We actually had some winners that ran out of gas right at the start-finish line as they were celebrating. So keep an eye out here tonight at that fuel window. And I believe that fuel window here tonight, Mike, if I could speak with race control and get that information for everybody. I believe I do have that information for tonight's race.
I believe it was told 16 laps.
About 16 laps, that is correct, Mike. 16 laps for a 15-lap stage. So keep an eye out on that. The more fuel you use, you're going to have 1 extra lap, I'd say, within each stage. So maybe these early pit stops are keeping that strategy in mind, getting those pit stops, getting that fuel and go, that splash and go, if you will. just to get that car back out on the track, because you're going to have about one extra lap per stage in this event here at the road course at Daytona. But you see Parker Collins has already climbed his way back up to the top of the table as that 42 machine exit pit road here. And if we could zoom in on that 42, Mike, I believe he is running a special paint scheme for Jill here. It's a banner, I believe, that's going to be either on that top window, or if we could, it'd be a special banner on the 3, the 24, the 42, and the 51 here of tonight's race. The top window there. This is the 42 of Bledsoe. Yes, I do see it right on the top there, right? If you're locked into the chase, it is at the top of that window there. You see Jill's name across the windshield there at the top. And this race is dedicated to her tonight. And as I mentioned, each caution, so mentioning sponsors here in tonight's event, I believe it would be only right to show her a picture and take a moment of silence during these caution laps that are going to be coming up in about 3 laps here. And just in a special honor, special dedication from us here at 10-4 Broadcasting for that unfortunate loss they suffered. And maybe we can provide just a slight distraction here as we're taking a look at the field here, kind of flashing through. Let's take a look at the rest of the drivers here in tonight's event. You see that Parker Collins, Mike, has already climbed back up to a 20-second lead on second place. And I feel like if you have the lines at a road course and you start hitting them the way you know you can, this race could, I mean, there's nothing the rest of the field can really do.
Yes, as we see Parker, taking those corners nice and slow, there's a phrase that someone told me: slow is the fastest way around the track. Slow and steady is how it takes to win.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's tried and true with the tortoise and the hare. I mean, the hare thought he had that thing won. He took him a little nap. He had him a little snack. That tortoise just walked right by him on the finish line, and the hare didn't even know what was going on. So, slow and steady does indeed win the race, as we're taking a look at Parker Collins, our race leader here. But there are some battles taking place at the field behind him, as we see the second, third, fourth, and fifth are pretty close to one another. Actually, only second, third, and fourth are going to have about a 2 or 3 car battle going on for second place there. It's going to be Matthew Badley Riley, who's in Compton, that new machine. They are about the closest cars together in this field. You got to jump back to about 5th position of Bledsoe in that 42, Compton in that 81, and then Bry Thomas in that 51 machine. And then the rest of the field looks like they're about a solid minute behind the leader, Mike.
Definitely, as we see the lap times of the leaders, last lap, the leader 2 minutes flat, while everybody is 2:05 and up, which definitely puts Parker Collins in a whole other category in this race.
And Mike, is it as easy as that? If you know your lines and you know where your speed's at a road course, is it that easy that you can just run out and run your lines and climb out to a lead like that, or does it something like that take a lot of practice and a lot of, let's say, memorization of these corners and lines?
Yes, if a lot of these drivers have run, this track in a sports car, your mentality is different from a sports car to a stock car. You can run, 5 or 6, 24 hours at a given time at this track, as we've seen the 42 lock up there. But you can run this track millions of times, 8 hours at a time in the sports cars, because your mindset. Daytona road course, what's the first thing you think of? As I'm being told, we had a crash. Riley Hoots has spun. Let's see if I can pull it up. Gonna go to a quick replay. As you've seen, we talked about it before, getting back in that throttle too soon, and he goes around.
That's that same corner that has collected a lot of drivers so far here tonight, Mike. We saw on lap one, we saw David Medina get really loose on that corner. But I believe this is going to bring an end to stage one once the rest of the field catches up to Parker, who, oh, as you see Matthew Badby go way out, going out onto the embankment there. He got a little crazy on the chicane there. He got a little, on a little bumpy road, Thunder Road, if you will. You see the pass being taken place there. I believe that is Compton, who's going to take over second place there. You saw him climb right up there and take over Badby there. Seeming to find a lot of speed here as you see him go up on the chicane a little bit there. And we are under caution here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the end of stage one, as you're going to see the rest of the field cross the line here. And in this time, we usually do talk about sponsors and we do driver interviews during this time. But in this race here tonight, 10-4 Broadcasting, we're going to do all that we can to honor and remember Jill Michelle Wilson Sides, who unexpectedly passed away on Wednesday. And in this time, we're going to go ahead and stay silent under caution and have her picture up on display here as these guys go ahead and finish out their stage one here. And we'll go ahead and take that moment of silence here at 10-4 Broadcasting. And again, all of our thoughts and prayers are with Matthew and Jill's family throughout this time. we'll come back onto the air here, ladies and gentlemen. We see that pace truck leading the way here. We're at the end of stage one here in the Jill Michelle Wilson Sides Memorial 100. This is a race dedicated to Jill and Matthew Wilson. Matthew Wilson is a driver here in the High Octane Sim Series, and this race is dedicated to his mom, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. So each caution that does come out, we are going to be taking a moment of silence here at 10th Floor Broadcasting. I know it's not what you're used to here at the productions, used to driver interviews and things like that, and sponsor reads and all that good stuff, but we thought it was only right here at 10th Floor Broadcasting to show our own respect and thought, our prayers, and all of our whatever words you can put in to that sentence, our sentiments, or all that good stuff here at 10th Floor Broadcasting. Of course, all of our thoughts and prayers and everything are with that family. Nothing that we can say here up in the booth is gonna make anybody feel any better or change anything. But we hope that we can provide a distraction for everybody here tonight. And again, we just want to send our best wishes and thoughts and prayers and everything towards that family. And of course, a loss is nothing ever good comes from losing a loved one. Our family actually suffered an unexpected loss on Wednesday as well. My sister's boyfriend passed away on Wednesday. So it's a tough time for a lot of people here, not only at the High Octane Sim Series, but also for us here in the broadcasting booth at 10-4 Broadcasting. But it's good to be back up here in the booth, and this is providing a distraction for me in these dark times, and we only hope that this can provide the same distraction for the Sides family in this dark time as well. About to go green here again at the Daytona Road Course, and it was Parker Collins who picked up that stage one victory. And Mike, we were about to go racing again, man, and that first stage was pretty wide open there, and we saw Parker dominate his lines and knew just exactly how to race this track here at Daytona.
Definitely, we talked about the start of the show is the one key to the race is staying on track. Once the leader took off, that's it. But everybody knows what everybody has. We're getting ready to go green here for our second stage. Hopefully, we get some more good racing. I know we've seen Nicholas take over second place from the 89, Matthew. And we've seen Riley Hoots also have a little problems early on. Actually, late in the run. Actually, I apologize. I think Nicholas and Zach, those Compton brothers, they're going to be a force to reckon with here.
Straight out of Compton. I love saying that every time that those last names come up, Mike, and we learn that they actually are running a special dedication to their father who passed away. And those colors are a significant recognize of their father who unfortunately passed away. And maybe we can speak to them and they can have some words for the Sides family. Maybe we can bring them in during one of these cautions after our moment of silence for Jill here, and maybe we'll bring some other drivers in. I'm sure they'll have a lot of things to say to Matthew and his family, and if anybody watching or any of the drivers that are listening to this broadcast while they're racing here tonight, if you would like to come up into the booth at any time, feel free. Come up to give your best wishes, to give your sentiments, to give your thoughts and your prayers and everything to the Sides family. We welcome that. We welcome anybody that would like to come up into the booth at any time during this race that would like to say anything to that family or to Matthew directly. Come on in. We welcome that. And we're about to go racing again here at the road course, ladies and gentlemen. It is Parker going to go ahead and get this green flag. As you see the field already start to fan out here on the restart, and Parker's going to get that jump right off the restart. We'll see down on this first corner how the boys handled this. Oh man, it's tight coming off that restart, Mike.
Definitely, we've seen 89. Brakes locked up going into turn one. He tried to push him a little too much, but Nicholas Compton did drop back 2 spots. Riley Hoots back up in second.
See Parker kind of take a wide stance on that corner. See Riley Hoots riding that 24 machine right behind him. This is Matthew Badby and that 89, our points leader. Seems to be a lot more competitive racing here in stage 2, ladies and gentlemen, as Parker's going to take that corner a little bit wide. You see some battles taking place right behind Parker here. I believe that is Darren Staff in that 45. He's trying to get up there with his teammate at Tiny Dog Racing. This is one of those corners that you're going to really have to hit the brakes hard there, Mike. It has collected a few cars already in tonight's event. What is it about that corner, would you say? Is it just you're going to brake so hard and get back on the throttle, or is it just you're not ready to make that sharp of a turn yet?
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's the fact that the car's not ready to make that sharp of a turn. That's basically the key of it. I mean, you're coming from what, cold tires, and you're going full throttle into a corner, and hopefully you slow down. Your tires are still cold. I mean, these are not like GT tires, but you still gotta keep in the mindset. You're not even your own personal car. I mean, what's gonna happen when it's raining and you're heavy downrain? You can't stop on a dime. No way, because you'll hydroplane. So yeah, we don't have rain here.
Oh.
As we see Riley Hoots hitting those turtles, as we could say.
As you see Matthew Badby go to the outside, he's going to try to make that prime time Daytona pass there on the outside before they have to duck down into this corner here. As you still see Matthew Badby on the outside there. This is a battle for second place, ladies and gentlemen. But this is going to give Parker that opportunity to pull away. As you see Riley Hoots go ahead and throw that back bumper right in front of Matthew. As you see Matthew get a little boost there, but you see him wait to brake to try to make that move on the inside. Oh man, that little slight hesitation out of that wheel there is going to cost him some speed coming out of the corner here. Matthew's going to have to climb back up through that draft here for that short little straightaway here, back down into the corner here. As you see Riley start to pull off just a little bit, but as you see him, like, oh man, Matthew's waiting a long time to let off and hit those brakes. He's trying to make that inside pass there, Mike, but on a strategy like that, is that going to cause Riley to get more of a jump out of the corner on the exits?
Yes. It's also going to, we see the leader. What's happening here with the racing? Leader's pulling away. But the one thing is, you don't want to lock up those tires or even those brakes going into the corner and take out both yourself and the person you're battling.
It does look like Matthew does have that speed in that 89 machine, though. He's just going to pick his perfect opportunity to make that pass as you see coming into these chicanes. See, he's got more speed. As you see Riley get up onto those, what do you call them, the turtles there, Mike? As you see Matthew's going to try to go to the inside here on the embankment. It looks like Matthew's going to overtake there, and those turtles, they really kill your speed, Mike. What's up with that? Why did they cause you? Because if you're coming in the corner so fast, why do they kill your speed so much?
So from what I was told, these turtles, you say, are basically the same turtles they used at Le Mans, if I'm not mistaken. So this is, yeah, it's different type of cars, but it's the point of it was to, encourage the racing side of it. I mean, we've seen how great the races was at Sonoma, Watkins Glen, at the Roval the past couple of years. So NASCAR tried Daytona. Why not? It worked maybe the first year, but then they came back again, and I think it was too much. But as we see, racing basically breaking away just a tad bit, and Parker Collins still pulling away.
If we could, Mike, we can go ahead and run the viewers through the field here. We'd like to do that 10-4 broadcast and just to give you a glimpse at the rest of the field here, as Parker is building up that lead there. He's about 3.5 seconds behind here. Look at the rest of the field. That's the 54 of Parker Collins leading the way here. He is all by himself in the lead so far. He dominated stage 1. He even pitted during the green flag. Still got back up there and won that stage 1 by, I assume, about 16, 17 seconds there, Mike. Taking a look at that second place car of Matthew Badby. We just saw him in a tight battle for that second position with Riley Hoots. He As our points leader here is a 3-time winner here at the High Octane Sim Series, so he's definitely solidifying himself at the top of the table. Looking at Riley Hoots in that 24 machine. Jumping back to Compton in that 80 there. I believe that's Nick Compton there in the 80. Running special paint scheme again for a dedication of their dad who passed away right out of Attica, Kentucky. They were trying to put those cars in victory lane last week. A little bit of a home cooking there at Kentucky Speedway. Just came just a tad short there. I believe it was Zach who finished in the top 3, a podium finish there. Take a look at the Tiny Dog Racing driver Darren Staff. Darren's running in the 5th position right now at 45. Great run from him last week. Like I said, got caught up in some late race shenanigans there, but his teammate was able to cross the line. Parker Collins in that 54. Behind him is that car I just mentioned of Zachary Compton, your favorite each week, Mike. Came very close last week. I just didn't have the speed to put that Ford Mustang into victory lane. But I believe it is coming at some point here in the season. I believe we'll see both, if not both those brothers in the playoffs here in the High Octane Sim Series, and he is running in the 4th position. Right behind Darren Staff there, we're seeing a bit of a battle going on. Right behind him in the 7th position, taking a look at Alan Bledsoe. He is the current High Octane Sim Series points leader without a win. So hopefully he can get one of those wins here tonight, lock himself into those playoffs. But with the points he's racked up so far throughout this season, he might be good to go. Taking a look at the 51 machine of Kelly Thomas. Kelly Thomas is running the 8th position there, racing out of the west side, California. Big shout out to the West Coast there. Kelly Thomas is racing in that Chevrolet 51. He's racing a good race here tonight. Again, it's tough here at the road course, but a top 10 solidify here. And jump back to Funky Cold Medina in that 9 machine. Funky Cold is running in the 9th position. We saw him get a little squirrely on that first lap. Lost a lot of positions on that first jump, but he is starting to keep that thing keeping it on the track here, Mike, and he's running in the top 10 so far. Jump back to that 10th position in the top 10. I believe that is Clark in that 31 machine of Brian Clark, again in that Chevy. He's running the tail end of the pack here, Mike, but of course this road course can be tough for anybody, especially the seasoned drivers that are used to, say, the speedway or super speedway races. And for some drivers like Derek Schilling in the 15th position, he has already parked that thing and went to Richmond, if you will. Taking a look at the next car behind him, it is that 8 of Nick Shell, racing out of Lincoln. Let's say it's Lincoln, Nebraska, but I could be mistaken. It just says Lincoln there in his bio, but Nick Shell is running in the 11th position here, and he's going to bring up the cars, the tail end of the cars that are still on the lead lap here at the High Octane Sim Series here, road course at Daytona. And then the first car that is a lap down is going to be that number 3 machine of James Brosker. Of course, James is running a special paint scheme on the top of that windshield. As you see him get a little squirrely there on the corner. Man, looks like James is having a tough night here at the road course at Daytona. He is in the 12th position, a lap down here in tonight's event. But again, he is running a memorial at the top of his windshield for Jill. Unfortunately, passed away. So, mother of Matthew Wilson. Taking a look at the car behind him, and that's going to be the teammate of Darren Staff and Parker Collins from Tiny Dog Racing. That is Ryan Lewis, who's bringing up the tail end of the pack here, Mike. Running in the, I believe that is the 13th position. And he's going to be the last car on the track, because I believe Bob Carroll and Derek Schilling have parked those machines for tonight.
Yes, I think Bob Carroll was wanting to bring this car to Richmond next week, and I believe I didn't have that many cars in the garage to send to Richmond, so I wanted to salvage what's left of it. Meanwhile, up front, we still got Parker Collins still pulling away, but not much because Matthew is coming.
And Mike, if I'm not mistaken, I know I wasn't very good at math in school. I believe it's the one subject that kept me back all those days, but we were going to be creeping up on those green flag pit stops once again here, and these battles are starting to heat up here in the middle of the pack, and we're starting to see that lead starting to get eat at a little bit from Matthew Badger. He's starting to eat up that pack when he hits up those dots. He's starting to eat up that lead as these laps are going on, and we're just going to start seeing these boys head down pit road because we're going to have less than 5 laps to go here in stage 2.
Definitely. You know what? We've noticed this stage 2 that Parker has not pulled away too much. We noticed Matthew has stayed within 2 seconds, at least, of Parker.
And what could cause that, Mike? Because we saw Parker climb out to such a wide lead there. What can cause somebody? Because you're not going to have that draft. You're not going to start. You know, it's going to be harder to catch the draft. It's going to be harder to pull somebody closer to you. Is it just that Parker just doesn't have the speed this stage, or maybe just Matthews just found his speed in this stage?
Well, what the one key thing is, they settled in. The drivers start to learn the track, learn how it feels. You know, the first stage you can make a little bit of a mistake, but knowing that at the end of the stage you come back and do it all again. But you know, Matthew has understood how the track's handling, the weather, how it feels. I know there's a lot of things out there where you can, you know, each driver can run programs to see what the temperature is, and that will tell you as far as if the track's gonna remain slick, get tighter, gonna grip more. So I believe Matthew has found the key to this race. As we move, showing Matthew here, and I believe he's getting closer.
Yeah, Mike, he is
Parker.
closing that window as you see him get a little squirrely in that corner there. But boy, he is coming quick, fast, and in a hurry for that first place position. He wants that #1 spot. Shout out to Ludacris there and that 89 machine at Napa Auto Parts. He wants to put that thing in victory lane here tonight. But he's already put that thing in victory lane 3 times on the season, Mike. And him and Parker Collins are the top dogs of this series. Parker has 2 wins on the season. Matthew has 3. So we're looking at the top 2 in points right here, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, he is catching up quick to Parker in that 54. I believe, Mike, that those green flag pit stops have got to take place here, I'd say, the next couple laps, because we're going to have less than 3 laps to go here in stage 2, and running on about a 15 to 16 lap fuel window. You're going to be coming up on that pretty close here, if not at the end of the stage, probably to start the stage 3 off. You're going to have to make some sort of pit stop, so maybe it'd be wise to go ahead and get that pit stop out of the way here. That way you don't have to worry about it to start stage 3. But I'm not in the car. I'm not racing here tonight. That's not. I'm not trying to give the commentators curse to anybody. But if I was racing, in my opinion, I'd go ahead and sacrifice my position on the track. Go ahead and get that pit stop out of the way. As you see Parker Collins go ahead and do that exact thing. He's going to go ahead and relinquish that lead to Matthew Babby and go ahead and get that pit stop out of the way, so he doesn't have to worry about it the rest of the way here. Probably at the middle of stage 3, if I had to guess. If you get this out of the way here now. Probably go ahead and get those tires changed as well, maybe a little gas, get that thing rocking and rolling, and back out to the lead. And Mike, what advantages do you get being from my grid, the first car to head down pit road? What kind of advantages are you going to pick up being the earliest pitter, if you will?
Well, we've seen it in this past weekend that the one key is you want to be the first on pit road, but you don't want to be the last on pit road. And we noticed Parker first on pit road both times. So what's going to happen is once everything cycles through, if it does cycle through, Parker will be back in the lead. But here's the thing. How much of a lead will he be in? Because we've seen Matthew not get away. The gaps between first and, say, 5th were not as big as it was before.
No, it really isn't, Mike. And Didn't mean to jump in there, but we've seen Matthew Badby in that 89 machine. As you see, I believe that is Darren Staff heading down pit road here. Again, another... Oh, that's Rye Lewis in that machine for Tiny Dog Racing. And Rye's been running in the back of the pack, Mike, and to go off of what you were saying, I'll go ahead and let you continue on there. Speaking about your strategy, is it, with Rye pitting now, is that going to go ahead and throw him up there with Parker at the when all this shuffles back out?
It might. It depends on how fast the other drivers' pit stops are. Will other drivers just take fuel and hope that tires can last to the end? We see Riley, early on, he came down pit road, but then towards the late of the run, he started losing the balance of the car. So that's another key thing. I mean, the later the run, the longer you go, especially on a road course, it's definitely going to make a difference in this race. As we see Kelly Thomas and Zachary Compton down pit road for service. 4.48 for Zachary and Kelly. And Darren.
As you see most of the drivers taking a splash and go here tonight, Mike, when do tires start coming into play as we're almost at the end of stage 2 here? Is it going to be like towards the later stages of this race? You're going to have to start worrying about your tires? Because it doesn't seem like the drivers are really worried about tires so far.
Well, seeing as how there is stages, they're not aiming towards the tires. They just want to get to the end of the stage, come in, take tires. I think that's when you're going to see the next stage. You're going to see more of a strategy move because it's going to be longer. Will they be able to run to the end? No. They're going to at least make 2 to 3 stops. But do you take tires or not? Do you try to double stint a tire? Probably, I don't want to say probably not. Because it's a big risk trying to double stint tires, especially at a road course like this.
Yeah, I can only imagine what the late stages of this race are going to bring because it's always highly competitive action here at a high-octane sim series. Boy, Mike, we have been with the broadcast here. I'd say this is our 3rd or 4th race here at the high-octane sim series, and every race that we've called so far has come down to the last lap, to the last pitch strategy, to the last everything. And I think we're in for it again here tonight at the road course.
Definitely. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see maybe a first-time winner, or will Parker come back and sweep double stints on tires with a double win.
And if Parker gets that victory here tonight, he'll be tied with Matthew Badby at the top of the table for wins. We'll see what shakes out as far as points-wise go, but we'll know that he does put that car into victory lane again here tonight. As you see James Brosker in that 3 machine, he is off the track there. Looks like he is hanging out all by himself there. Looks like he might take that thing off the track here, Mike, but if we could take a look at that front windshield of that machine, he is running that special dedication to Jill here tonight in honor of her. I wish we could zoom in a little bit more on that machine, but he is running that banner at the top of the windshield in honor of her here tonight. There we go, that's perfect. Thank you, Mike, our excellent producer here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Take a look at that banner atop of that machine of James Brosker, and it's going to be the 3, the 24, the 42, and 51 all rocking that lovely memorial for Jill at the top of the windshield there. And take a look at Riley Hoots in that 24. He is also rocking that same and memory, loving memory of Jill. Tweety birds on each side. And again, our deepest sympathies and thoughts and prayers are with the side Wilson family right now through this dark time. And can only express our deepest sympathies and prayers right now. And we do appreciate these drivers racing with those special banners at the top of their machines here tonight in honor of Jill. And I know Jill is watching. watching tonight's race and keeping an eye out on these drivers and keeping an eye out on everybody, especially Matthew. Um, Again, our deepest sympathies to him and his family. And again, as we mentioned during this broadcast, each yellow flag, we usually do driver interviews, we usually do sponsor reads. But during this next caution, we'll go ahead and take that moment of silence. But if any driver wants to come up into the booth and speak a few words, and not a traditional interview, if you will, Mike, but we'll let them come into the booth and just go ahead and say whatever they would like to say to Matthew and his family. And we invite any driver that wants to come into the booth. If multiple drivers want to come into the booth during this next caution, we invite that as well. And of course, we'll turn our mics off and we'll let them take the lead here. And yep, as Matthew's in the chat saying, the reason for the Tweety Bird, that was her favorite. That is quite the dedication to Jill there, and we appreciate those guys for running that. And of course, all of the people involved with the High Octane Sim series. Of course, me and Mike up here in the booth, 10-4 Broadcasting. We want to go ahead and, like I said, give our deepest sympathies and thoughts and prayers. And Mike, there's not much we can say in a dark time like this, but I just hope we can provide some sort of outlet, if you will.
Most definitely. I mean, the only thing we said at the start of the race, is cherish the memories you had and look towards the future.
Exactly. Cherish, spend time with your loved ones, and don't hold grudges in life, and reach out to people you haven't reached out in a while, and have awkward conversations if you need to, because life is too short for things like that. And pretty evident this week, for Matthew's family and for my family as well, as we had unexpected passing in our family as well. But of course, as we mentioned, we'll go ahead and take that moment of silence here on this first caution lap. This is going to bring an end to stage 1, and Riley Hoots is going to be our stage 2 winner. Excuse me. Riley Hoots is going to go ahead and pick up that stage 2 victory, and we'll go ahead and stay quiet here in memory of Jill Michelle Wilson Sides, who unexpectedly passed away on Wednesday. As we come back onto the air here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and pass over the mic to Riley Hoots. Go ahead and take it away, Riley.
First and foremost, there's not enough good things you can say about Matt Wilson. He is one of my closest friends that I've developed during my online racing career. I've been racing with him for just about 10 years now, and he's been like a big brother to me through this entire process, and our entire team has been feeling the effects of this and going through this with him. And Matt, I just want you to know that we love you and we care about you. And, if you ever need anything at all, you're always going to have your virtual family here, man. You're the best.
Appreciate that, Riley. And I'm going to see if I can't get Alan Bledsoe to come into the booth with us as well. And Alan, the mic is yours, man.
What's going on again? What do I say again?
Anything you like, man. Really, floor is yours.
Well, all right. So, Matt Wilson, this race is for you, man. Wanting to thank James for getting the whole idea in place, and just loving the fact that we can do this as a family and as a team. This whole group is just awesome. So, Matt, I'm hoping that your family is gonna get better. Or I know you guys are going through a rough time, so just hope that everything goes well for you guys. As far as this race is going, I'm it's a struggle, but I'm enjoying it. Actually doing a lot better than I thought I would at a road course. So thank you guys for pulling me in, and I appreciate the last minute change to the broadcast. I mean, I know I brought the idea up to you, Will, pretty much this morning, so I'm glad you guys were able to pull it off. But yeah, again, Matt, this is for you, man.
We appreciate that, Alan, and anything we can do here at 10-4 Broadcasting. And like I said, nothing that any of us can say is gonna take the pain away or really change anything that happened. But hopefully we can provide, like I said, a distraction or just an outlook for everybody here tonight. And I know a lot of people are affected by this loss, and we appreciate you guys coming to us and letting us know. That way we could honor her in tonight's race here tonight, and honor Matthew and his family as well. And we appreciate it, Alan. And again, if anybody wants to ever get up here in the booth with us, just let us know. Send a message in the chat. We welcome anybody that wants to say anything in the booth here. Anybody that knows Matthew. Of course, everybody knows Matthew here in the High Octane Sim series, but we invite anybody that like to come up and say a few words, just come on through. We're not. This is a different broadcast for us here tonight. It's a bit of a somber one, if you will, but like I said, we want to provide just a little bit of a distraction with the racing that you guys put on here at the High Octane Sim series, and anything we can do for Matthew and his family here. And man, good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully the next time we talk to you, you're in victory lane.
Yeah, we'll see. But Will, I know you've gone through a loss, so I hope everything's going well for you too. I don't know if you mentioned that in the broadcast or not, but yeah, it's definitely been a tough week.
Yeah, it's not a fun week, that's for sure. I'm just glad to be up in the booth here. It's not, of course, I didn't suffer the traumatic loss as Matthew went through. My sister's boyfriend of almost 3 years passed away at 38 years old on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it is definitely a tough time for everybody here, but we'll get to racing again here pretty soon. And Alan, we appreciate you getting up here in the booth with us, and I appreciate those kind words as well, man.
Yeah, no problem, guys. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun race, good distraction, so I'll take it.
Of course, man. Alrighty, well, we'll let you go, and we'll see how this race pans out for you at the road course.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, this is it's been a hard week, not just for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, but also for the drivers in the High Octane Sim Series. Just like Alan said, Will, broadcast partner over here, lost, I guess you could say definitely be a family member at this point. And then, of course, Jill. It's hard, but having something that you can, take your mind off, focus on something else, just to cherish the old memories you had, but also not to build up too much emotion inside to where it gets the best of you.
Yeah, that's all we're trying to do. It's definitely, there's nothing we can say to my sister. There's nothing that we can say to Matthew. It's gonna make them feel any better. It's gonna change anything that happened. But all we can do is be there for them. If anybody wants to reach out to Matthew, if you know him on Facebook or if you know him through the group here at High Octane Sim Series, I do encourage you to reach out to him through this dark time, because they need all the people in their corner that they need through this dark time. But we are about to go green here, ladies and gentlemen, here at the road course at Daytona. Of course, this race is in Jill's memory here at the road course, and we're going to have less than about 25 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen, the last stage of this race. And Parker Collins picked up the stage 1 victory, Riley Hoots picked up the stage 2 victory. It's been pretty wide open racing so far tonight here, Mike, at the road course, and I think things will pick up a little bit here in the last stage.
Definitely, we see the track getting a little darker. Another key change in this race, can be definitely change the way the track feels. More grip, which means the drivers will be more comfortable.
Yeah, we saw it in that last stage, Mike. Once Matthew Bedby got a little more comfortable on the track, he really ate up that lead like Pac-Man, and it was starting to catch up to Parker there. But of course, those green flag pit stops came into play, and Riley Hoots seemingly snuck out of nowhere to pick up that stage 2 victory. But it looks like those boys are going to start 1, 2, 3 here on the restart. So we'll see which one of those boys is going to be able to pick up that race victory. But look at Funky Cold Medina, Mike, in that number 9. He's climbed his way all the way up into that top 4 position after a mishap on lap 1.
Definitely, it's look at my notes here. He has not pitted the 4th time, while Parker and Matthew both have come down at least 4 times down pit road. So looks like it's Riley and David gambling on this run. Hopefully, getting an extra little lap times. So we're getting ready to go green. And here we go. Green flag.
Let's go green. Green, green, green. Ooh, man, big braking action there. As you see, Parker Collins unfortunately had to pull out there. big brakes going into the corner. No caution, ladies and gentlemen. That was a one-car accident. It looked like the rest of the boys there heading down in the corner. They hit the brakes just as hard as him, but Parker got a little bit more loose than the rest of the field there. See, Parker's now going to have to climb all the way back up into this field there, as he's going to be in 11th place there, about a lap down. Not a lap down, he's going to be the last car on the lead lap at the tail end of this pack. So a lot of work for Parker now in the last 20 so laps.
See if we can pull up a 10-4 broadcasting replay of that incident. Talked about that first stage, locking up those tires. That's
Thought
what
he was on
happened.
the dirt track for a minute there, Mike. He thought he could save it there. You saw the tail end starting to even out just a little bit on him, but once you get that 90 degrees, there's no saving that thing.
As we're back in the action.
Take a look at the Tiny Dog racing machines there. Looks like they're going to try to work together to get their cars back up at the top there. I believe that is Ryan Lewis and Parker Collins there at the tail end of that lead pack there. You see which car can climb its way back up there. As you see, Parker's already got that speed climbing his way back up to that front of the pack. At 54, you got Bledsoe right there. Taking a look at Zachary Compton and Nicholas Compton. They are tandeming up. I believe this is for third and fourth position, right?
Definitely is third and fourth. Compton's. We seen last week, you know, Zachary did come home in P2. Nicholas, we didn't get the chance to talk to last week. Came home P3. Hopefully we can talk to him this week. If not, we'll definitely get a hold of him next week. We'll talk about his the races. As those reports show, Brian Clark did have an incident. See Brian Lewis there again. Out of the international chicane there. Ooh.
Big battle taking place for first position here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a battle for the lead going on between Riley Hoots and Matthew Badby in the 89. They're fighting on that embankment here, Mike. We'll see. We see Matthew Badby in the 89 file right behind Riley Hoots in the 24. Riley Hoots is going to lead the way now. Oh, man, Matthew thought about that outside pass there, but Riley threw that back bumper right in front of him here as they're going to go into the chicanes. We'll see which one's going to have the most speed coming out of here, which is going to have the cleanest lines in the chicane. You see our race leader, Parker Collins, who led the way in stage one, is now climbed back up into, looks like,
P11.
P11 there?
Looks like
yeah,
he had
P10 now. I see, yep,
incident.
up in the top 10 already.
Yep, he had another incident half a lap ago.
And Parker goes off the track a little bit there, maybe trying to gain a few extra seconds there.
Meanwhile, back up front, Nicholas Compton going away.
Nicholas Compton, he's in that third position. He's trying to climb up there in the leaders. As you see, Riley Hoots go way outside there. Matthew Badby's right on his back bumper. They want to overtake that position. See Badby go to the outside here, going on into the corner. This is the crazy corner that everybody's been collected up into. They're side by side, ladies and gentlemen, at the road course. As you see, Riley Hoots get way loose there. Oh, man, he's going to lose some positions there.
And we talked about getting back on the throttle way too soon.
He's going to have some work to do here tonight, Mike. He's going to have to climb his way back up there as well. We're going to have less than 20 laps to go here at the road course at Daytona. It's going to be Matthew Badby, who's a three-time winner on the season already. He's going to be leading this race, but he's got some straight out of Compton boys right behind him, and Nicholas and Zachary Compton. We'll see which one can climb up there and battle for that lead. And Mike, you might actually have your underdog pull out a victory here tonight.
Definitely, I think between Zachary and Nicholas, I think we between this week, next week, and I believe the week after, I could definitely see one of them in victory lane.
And all it takes in this series is one win, Mike, and that'll put you in the playoffs. And once the playoffs begin, all those points reset. So it doesn't really matter what you do during the regular season. If you can get that one win and get you up there, of course you want to be regular season champion. You want to have all the bragging rights for dominating the whole season. But then again, if you can just get one victory throughout these races, it can lock yourself in for that championship hunt. And that's really where you want to be at the end.
Yes, as you see, 24 of Riley Boots catching up to David Medina.
And we saw David Medina get way loose on that corner that everybody seemed to have trouble with. As you see, Riley Hoots actually had trouble exiting that corner, Mike. That's where he got in his trouble coming out of that corner. He just didn't realize that Matthew Badby was on his outside, or somebody told him that he was on the outside, and he got a little sketched out, got a little loose there coming out of that calamity corner. And Mike, it's just that corner right there has collected a lot of drivers in tonight's race, but David Medina has done a great job of climbing his car back up into the top 5, and he can keep that car up there with less than 19 laps to go. He can pick up a really solid finish here for having a mistake on lap 1.
Yes, we talked about it, the throttle. You don't want to get back in the throttle too soon, or you definitely lose control. And we've seen that a couple times. Not by just Riley, but our leader that dominated the first 2 stages, Parker.
Whoa, as you see David Medina get way loose outside that corner.
I know you asked that question, what's going to take? It's mistakes. The drivers are getting too comfortable, and they're trying to push.
And cue up the salt and pepper because Riley Hoots is pushing it real good up into the front there. As you saw him get loose exiting that corner a few laps ago, he's already put his car back up into 4th position. He seemed like he was digging those Compton brothers already, Mike.
Let's see what his lap time is going to be here. Let's see if he's picking up the pace, or is he still trying to be easy and trying to keep his tires a little cool.
We'll go ahead and get that live grid fixed for you there, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe we have, about 18 laps to go there. Just went ahead and switch for everybody. Again, we do want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's race here at 10-4 Broadcasting. If you like what you're seeing, definitely go give us a like, share, follow, all that. We give you this live action of the High Octane Sim Series every Friday night around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to go ahead and follow along with the High Octane Sim Series, go ahead and check them out on Facebook as well. Back to the action here. We're watching Matthew Badby, who is the points leader here in the Cup Series at the High Octane Sim Series. He is leading the way here. And Matthew wasn't really in contention the first 2 stages of tonight's event. That was Parker Collins picked up stage 1, Riley Hoot stage 2. And Matthew Badby is kind of playing out that same strategy he plays out every week, Mike, and just kind of keeping his cool until it's crunch time.
Definitely. I still think, there's gonna be 1 or 2 more big mistakes. But I'm not gonna say who. Could it be one of the top people in the top 5? Maybe. Could it be the people somewhere in the top 10? Who knows?
No commentator's curse here tonight.
Definitely not on a road course. You don't want to give anybody that type of curse.
Seen a battle for the 3rd position already taking place between Zachary Compton and Riley Hoots there. You can see if Riley's gonna get the speed to make a pass here, but we saw Riley go really aggressive with Matthew Badby here exiting that corner. You saw him get loose there, so you wonder if he's going to show the same type of aggression trying to get past Zachary here, or if he's going to play a more strategic role in passing him here on the track.
Well, looking at his lap times, 157 or 159 Definitely about a half a second faster than Zachary, but also still trying to keep pace with the leader's times. As James Brosker has come down pit road, he has been a couple laps down.
Yeah, and it seems as though James has really struggled at tonight's event here at the road course. And James is a really good speedway and super speedway racer, but again, this type of racing really brings out, I wouldn't say more of you as a driver, but you really gotta have a hyper focus at a road course, if you will, Mike.
Yes, running a road course compared to a speedway and super speedway, even a short track or dirt track, is a different animal.
And as you were saying to start the broadcast off here, Mike, you're quite an experienced endurance racer on iRacing, used to road courses like this. And taking a look at tonight's action so far, what do you see playing out here in the last 15 laps or so from your position as a road course racer and endurance racer yourself? What do you see as the type of things that are going to start playing out here in the late stages of this road course?
Wow. That's hard to even say, as we see Riley Hoots go for third place here.
Like, is it time to just throw strategy out the window and just fight as hard as you can to get up there with the lead pack, or is it time to start strategizing a little bit more as to what you can do better on the track, because we're going to have less than 15, 16 laps to go here? Is it time to find your partner and try to work your way up there, or what are the type of things as a driver you got to start kind of thinking about towards the late stages of this race?
Well, this track race, I should say, is not more of a drafting type track. This more is hit your marks consistent. And I don't know. Like I said, I believe there would be one more incident, maybe two, that might happen. I don't know, but if you can hold, run your line, keep patience with yourself, don't overdrive it. Who knows? You'll come home with a top 5 finish at a road course, because other people are trying to overdrive each corner to get more speed because they're getting more confident in the setup. They're getting more confident in the car.
Definitely, and you see it. Talk about comfortable. Looks like Matthew Badby is sitting in a lazy boy there up at the lead as we take a look at the battle for second taking place here between Riley Hoots and Zachary Compton. Here they are really battling it out, but we saw Riley fight for the lead just a few laps ago, but got loose exiting out of that Calamity corner. I'm throwing a nickname on that corner because it's caught up a few drivers here in tonight's event, but you see Riley's already got his car up in the third position, already chasing down that second position there. But you see Riley's going to go ahead and try to compete for this win here tonight. I believe he has got himself locked into the playoffs already. Mike, I'd have to double check that, but a win tonight would definitely solidify his spot in those championship standings. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have less than 16 laps to go here at the road course at Daytona. And boy, Mike, like I said, Matthew Bedway has really come out of nowhere here in the late stages, but big battle is taking place here behind him for second, third, and fourth. But after that, it looks like Matthew's got about a 12-second lead on Zachary or Nicholas Compton there in the 80. You see Riley Hoots in the third position there, keeping an eye on him. And then it's going to be Zachary Compton in the 81. It's going to be about 17 and a half seconds behind the leader. Then, of course, Funky Cold Medina, David Medina is going to be rounding out our top 5 there. So that's going to be our top 5, because then after that it seems to drop off just a tad after Rye Thomas in that 51. And then you're going to be looking at, it's going to be Thomas in that 51 after that. It's going to be about an 11-second difference between 6th place and 7th place. Definitely really fanned out here at the road course here with less than 15 laps to go. keep an eye on that. As you said, Mike, if one of those big mistakes or big things are going to happen here towards the end, I know we're going to have to make green flag pit stops again. But as we've seen so far at the road course, those green flag pit stops just tend to shuffle out the leader. The leader just tends to climb their way back up to the front. Keeping an eye on Riley Hoots there. He's really climbing. Let's see if we can't throw up that graphic of the gap differential between him and second place, because it seems as though he's starting to hit those lines, Mike.
See Riley Hoots. Each lap, each quarter, getting faster and faster. That last lap was a 2:01, while Matthew is still hitting 1:59.9s.
You see Riley Hoots is trying to close that gap, Mike, but as you said, Matthew Badby's really laying down some hot lap times there at the top of the pack, and it seems as though he's just got really comfortable here in tonight's event, and once he's got the lead, he doesn't seem to be wanting to look back at all. He wants that 4th victory on the season here. Taking a look at James Brosker and that 3 machine there. He's going to be 3 laps down there, registered in P13, but again, that's one of the cars that's running that lovely, in loving memory sticker on the top of that windshield of Jill, who unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. And Jill is the mom of Matthew Wilson, a racer here in the High Octane Sim Series. And again, all of our deepest sympathies and prayers and thoughts are with you and your family here tonight. Of course, this race is dedicated in her memory and for Matthew's family. And we appreciate those drivers for rocking that special in memoriam at the top of their windshields here in tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have less than 14 laps to go here at the road course at Daytona. This is race 8 here in the High Octane Sim Series. And Matthew Badby, what more can we say about him, Mike? He's got 3 wins on the season. He picked up a win during one of our broadcasts so far here in High Octane Sim Series. And I believe he's a rookie in this series this year, and for a rookie, oh man, as you see Bledsoe on that 42, nice save there. He saved his car instead of taking out somebody else there, and we still don't have a competition caution yet here on the track. Look at Riley Hoots in at 24 there. We're gonna have less than 13 laps to go, Mike, and boy, Matthew has now climbed out to about a 15-second lead, so it's gonna have to. It's going to be something miraculous for him to lose that lead, if you will.
Most definitely. I mean, to say I was expecting to be one worse, and there was. The 42 have a problem. Will anybody else with 13 to go? Who knows? We'll see.
As you see now, Zachary Compton's now battling Riley for that 3rd position here, and Riley's going to have some competition for that position on the track. As you see, Nicholas Compton's up in the 2nd place there, but Nick and these boys are solid 15 to 20 seconds behind Matthew Badby in that lead position. So excuse us if we're not showing Matthew Badby. He is sipping on some puree water, maybe some nice tea, and having some snacks up there all by himself, because he seemed to have checked out of this race here, Mike, and he's just laying down that rubber and finding his lines and just racing this race, racing his race, if you will, Mike. We've seen this out of Matthew in a few of these races here. He keeps his cool in the first couple of stages there, and then once those late stages hit, he seems to just hit the nitrous button or hit the go button in that machine. As you see him head down pit road here, and he's going to be the first of our leaders to go ahead and pit. And Mike, as you were talking about earlier in this race, that's going to shuffle him right back into the lead once this is all said and done.
Definitely. But the thing is, will someone push it? If so, how far? How long?
These boys' last pit. It was right around lap 25 to 28, right at the end of stage 2. So,
as we've seen Matthew take tires on that pit stop. Parker Collins in pit lane.
see a bit of a damage on the back of that bumper there of Parker. He was caught up in some unfortunate event there just a few laps ago, and he's trying to work his way back up into that lead pack. And he was our stage 1 winner here tonight at the road course at Daytona. Taking a look at Nicholas Compton now as our race leader. He has yet to head down pit road here in that 80 machine. But again, Mike, you had talked about once these boys make green flag pit stops at a road course like this, it's just going to reshuffle Matthew right back into that lead.
Definitely. It's the fact that he's hitting consistent lap times over and over, and definitely with new, fresh set of rubbers. Oh man, that's definitely a good feeling.
No doubt. He's going to have a lot of speed on those fresh tires, already in the lead, already running a great race up at the top of the pack. See if he's going to hold it down there, Mike, and avoid that unfortunate event as you spoke about a few laps ago. You don't want to put the commentator's curse on anybody just yet. You don't want to put anybody in victory lane just yet, as we did Zachary a few races ago. He had all but won that race and pulled off with about, I think it was the final lap, Mike, because he ran out of fuel. He came across the radio and let everybody know he was pulling off the track, and we all but put that car in victory lane. So anything can happen here at the High Octane Sim Series, and I think we're in for quite a finish here, Mike.
Yes, definitely. I believe, if you're looking to join a great bunch of guys Friday night, check them out. So far, everybody that we've talked to, from the admins to officials to drivers, sponsors, nothing but friendly words. As we see a lot of people coming down pit road. And guess what? 89 is back in the lead.
And that did not take long, Mike. That Matthew Badby is again our race leader on the track, as we see a majority of the cars exiting pit road here. That includes Riley Hoots, the Compton brothers, straight out of Compton, Zachary and Nick. Riley's going to be sandwiching between those guys. And we also see Darren Staff in that 45, who's been pretty quiet in tonight's race, Mike. Hasn't quite had the speed here tonight at the road course to race with his teammate Parker up at the top of the pack, but maybe if he can keep that thing out there in prime position, he can pick up a nice finish here in tonight's event. I just don't know if he has the speed to catch Matthew in the 89, and I don't know if anybody has the speed to catch Matthew in that 89, but we'll keep an eye out on it for sure. And if we see if Matthew's pulling away from the race a bit, we'll go ahead and keep an eye on these position races, if you will, because every position counts here heading towards the playoffs in the High Octane Sim Series.
There, overshoot that bus stop. Lost 2 spots and maybe 3 here. Matthew, new fastest lap of the race. Let's see what happens. Can really catch up in 10 laps to go, or does Matthew look signed, sealed, and delivered? Meanwhile, the race for second place is heating up with Riley Hoots and Nicholas Compton. Did I say Nicholas? I could have swore I said both Comptons, as we've seen David Medina in the back spun. Again, drivers are starting to push the issue. Try to get more out of their car. The more you get comfortable with the car, the more you start to overdrive it.
Exactly, but nobody is more comfortable than Matthew Badby in that lead position, as he has now grown his lead to about 30 seconds on the second place position of Riley Hoots there. And Mike, with less than 10 laps to go, I don't want to put him in victory lane just yet, but it seems as though he's already making his plans for his victory dinner here tonight.
Oh, I like to know what the dinner plans or victory plans he's going to have if he ends up coming home to victory.
I like to proclaim myself as a betting man, and if I had to bet on my favorite here tonight, it's definitely Matthew Badby to pull away with this victory, because it's going to take something miraculous for him. It's going to take like a Reggie Miller 8 points in 4 seconds for anybody to catch Matthew in that lead position. And taking a look at Riley Hoots here, it's the closest car to Matthew. He's about 29, 30 seconds behind Matthew in that second position. So big moves happening behind Matthew here for the top 5. We see Riley Hoots right there. We see Zachary Compton, Nicholas Compton. Parker has climbed his way back up to the top 5 as well. We see Thomas in that 51 machine as well in 6th position. But ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 9 laps to go here at the High Octane Sim Series road course at Daytona. Taking a look at the rest of the action here.
Hey, Will, I think I see a familiar face working his way back up.
I do too, Mike. That is Parker Collins, who has brought himself all the way from the tail end of this lead pack here. He was racing with those guys about a lap down there at the back of the pack, and he has climbed his machine all the way up into 4th position. He's trying to fight for maybe a podium finish here in tonight's event, but Mike, I just don't think he's going to have the speed to catch the leader.
Anything can happen. He's actually running a full 1.5 seconds faster than the leader, so anything is possible.
Shout out to Kevin Garnett, because anything is possible indeed. Right, Mike, I think we're watching the impossible take place here tonight, and that's Riley putting this thing in, or Riley putting that thing in victory lane, if you will. He's in second position, about 30 seconds behind. With less than 8 laps to go here, it's really a battle for positions on the track. How well you can finish, if you can get that thing up in the top 10. As we take a look at our leader, finally, we take a look at him, as he has no other cars around him at the road course at Daytona. It's almost like he's running a private session here at Daytona. As take a look at those wide shots there, you can't even see another car in his rear view just yet. So he's got quite the clean air up there, Mike, and he's going to cross that line with 7 laps to go, knowing that he's got about a 30-second lead on second place. And how comfortable does that make you as a driver, knowing that you want to wrap this thing up?
Well, I do not get confident until the last corner of the last lap, because you can get way confident too fast, too early, and your race can be over in the next corner.
Yeah, but even if he does spin out, Mike, I think it's going to take more than that. It's going to take him about whoa, as you see him get a little loose exiting that corner there. He might lose just a tad bit of speed with that slight mistake, but it's going to take him virtually hitting the brakes for the rest of the pack to catch up with him on second position. I actually saw that happen during the Cars premiere at Lowe's Motor Speedway. My uncle was a driver for the Richard Petty driving experience, and he was racing with the likes of Jimmy Johnson and Paul Newman and all these big name guys in this mock race for the Cars premiere. And my uncle, who knew who knows Lowe's Motor Speedway like the back of his hand, had to virtually hit the brakes for the rest of the field to catch up to him so that they could have a mock finish, if you will. But I don't think Matthew's going to be hitting the brakes at all here tonight, as you see him just careening around these corners, building that lead as the seconds build up on that lead, Mike. And 7 laps to go. Looks like Matthew is on his way to pick up that 4th victory on the season.
Not gonna count your chickens till it's hatched.
If we could jump back to that battle that's taken place for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, it is quite a battle taking place with the rest of the pack there. These guys are pretty close to one another. We might have a battle for a top 5 or a top 3 finish here, as you're seeing the likes of Parker Collins, Nicholas Compton, Zachary Compton, Riley Hoots is leading that pack as well. You see which one of these drivers can finish, get that podium finish, or top 5. A lot of these drivers are solidifying themselves for a top 5 finish. As you see, after Nicholas Compton, it does drop down to about 11 or 12 second difference between 5th place and 6th place. So it's really a battle for a top 5 finish here between these boys. They're racing for a podium finish if you can get past one of the Comptons or Riley Hoots there. And that would be good for a lot of these drivers, seeing as this race is played out. Some of these mistakes that were made, getting loose in the corners, some of this craziness that's ensued here in tonight's event, it really give a nice self-confidence or a confidence boost heading into next week.
Definitely seen Parker lose it in that chicane a little bit. And that's the mentality of trying to push. He knew his lap times were getting faster each lap. As a driver, you always want to push. You always want to give that extra percentage.
For those basketball fans out there, you want to have that Mamba mentality. You want to just be super focused, super confident, super sure of your abilities on a track like this. And we've seen it out of Matthew Badby, Mike. And like I said, he's really just played his own strategy in tonight's event. We saw it last week at Kentucky. He didn't pick up the victory there, but we saw it kind of, he didn't really make too much noise in the first couple stages, but once say about 20, 25 laps to go, we saw him kind of rocket up there towards the front of the pack. But he's done it here tonight. We're taking a look at that 2nd place car, Riley Hoots, in that 24. Of course, he is one of the drivers that is running that lovely memorial to Jill on the top of that windshield. Maybe we can get a close-up of that as he's taking this corner here, as he looking like he's going to rock in that 2nd place position there. We'll take a look at that lovely memorial thing that they did for Jill Wilson inside. She unfortunately passed away on Wednesday. This race is in dedication to her and Matthew's family. And Matthew Wilson is the driver here at High Octane Sim Series, and less than 5 laps to go. Of course, we want to show off Riley Hoots' loving tribute to Jill, the top of his machine here as he's running in 2nd position. Great run out of Riley here, but again, we want to send all our deepest sympathies, thoughts, prayers, all of the above to Matthew's family in this dark time. And again, we want to wish him and his family everything that we can here in this time. And of course, we want to give a special shout out to these drivers that are rocking this lovely tribute at the top. And as you see those Tweety birds on each side there, that was her favorite cartoon character. Again, we do want to give a special shout out to those drivers who are rocking that. Of course, all the drivers here in the High Octane Sim Series are feeling this loss and feeling for Matthew in tonight's event. And we want to appreciate Matthew for tuning in for as much as he can. And he says he'll be back for Richmond, but of course we want to let him know that he can take all the time he can in this dark time. And when he's ready and willing to come back racing with these boys, I'm sure everybody's going to be welcoming back with open arms, however long it takes, Matthew. And we wish you nothing but the best here up in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. And Mike, we are going to have less than 5 laps to go, and looks like nothing's going to be happening to our leader as he is going to start creeping up on the back of that tail end pack. He's going to start lapping the field here towards the end.
Lap traffic, anything can happen here. But I'm not going to put no curse on him. For as much as these drivers were able to show up tonight and tackle this road course of Daytona, I really don't want to put no curse on anyone this week. Maybe next week, but not gonna count my chickens just yet.
Like the NFL commentator that'll say this kicker hasn't missed, has made 15 or 16 straight kicks, and it's the end of the game, and he kicks it wide to the field goal. The commentator is always going to be like red face up in the booth. But I'm pretty sure about Matthew's ability here. It just seems as though he's sticking those tires into the corner here, but we'll jump back as Matthew is just careening around this lap traffic here to Riley Hoots, who is a solid 28 seconds behind, but that doesn't take away from the excitement and the energy that's taking place here on this back of this pack here. As you got Riley Hoots, you got Nicholas Compton in the 80, you got Parker Collins, who had to go all the way back to the lead pack, all the way down to about 12th or 13th position, and has climbed his way all the way back up into the top 5. So shout out to Parker for making that awesome charge to get his car back up into the top 5. I know he wants to get that podium finish here tonight. It's going to be hard with 5 laps to go, about a 4-second difference, but as you say, Mike, anything can really happen, and it is Zachary Compton who's going to round up that top 5, and then you're going to have about a 5-second difference between Zachary in the 6th place position of Thomas. After that, in 7th position, you're going to have David Medina in the 9, Bledsoe in that 42. So I know a little loose, a few laps to go. It's going to cost him a lot of positions on the track, but he's going to be around 7th or 8th position there, Mike. And it's been a great race so far here at 10-4 Broadcasting. And Mike, I think I've said it a few times, as a veteran road course racer, if you will, how has this been for you? Has this been exciting? Is this sort of like how you saw this race playing out?
I sort of play out just a tad different. But the mistakes, I thought I would see a little bit more, maybe 1 or 2 more extra mistakes. But this is showing that these drivers have the skill, the capabilities to run a road course and still be at the top of the game.
Yeah, of course, and I like how you said drivers, because this hasn't been a one-man show. As you've been watching Matthew Badby dominate this late stage here, you saw Parker Collins do the same thing in stage 1. He climbed his way all the way up in that lead and kind of took off from the rest of the pack there. And Riley Hoots kind of snuck around in stage 2 and was able to pick up that stage 2 victory there. But once you get out in the lead on a course like this, Mike, it's sort of like you just sit up there all by yourself and you just start hitting your lines. You know exactly where to let off, you know exactly where to brake, you know exactly where to downshift, upshift. You know all the above. You start logging those things. You start building up the data points, if you will, to use a F1 or Indy term. And it seems as though Matthew, in those first couple of stages, really built up his data points, his Rolodex of what to do. And you've seen it in these late stages here, ladies and gentlemen. And he has built up a 27-second lead on 2nd place. And Matthew is careening around the track here at the road course at Daytona. Looks like on his way to his 4th victory on the season, Mike. That means he has won just about half the races here at the High Octane Sim Series so far.
Definitely, and what I said earlier about drivers, if you can start the race, yeah, might be in a couple of spins, couple of crashes, but if you can end up finishing this race, whether it's 20 laps down, 30 laps down, whatever it is, I consider that as a win. As we've seen Matthew starting to make some changes to his line. He's getting a little too aggressive as that gap is starting to shrink. Not by shrinking that much, but anything can happen.
We'll go ahead and jump back to the 2nd position of Riley Hoots, because it looks like he's got some battling going on between him and Nicholas Compton in that 80. Like Nicholas has worked his way back up there. He's right there on that bumper there. He might have an opportunity to overtake Riley here in the late stages. Less than 2 laps to go here, ladies and gentlemen. This race at the road course has flown by here. See, Riley's going to be going into the chicanes here. See if Nicholas is going to, like you said, might get a little bit more aggressive to see if he can overtake. If not, he's going to solidify himself as a podium finish here. Less than 2 laps to go as you're taking a look at Riley Hoots in that second position. And that is Nicholas Compton in that 80. That's really digging at the back bumper as Riley wants to overtake that second position, but then again, a podium finish here is as great. As you see in that back of the camera there, just the outside of your view there, ladies and gentlemen, that's Parker Collins at 54. He picked up the stage 1 victory here. Unfortunately, he got a little loose racing Riley. One of those stages there had to go all the way back to the tail end of the lead pack due to that unfortunate accident, but good on Parker climbing that car back up into the top 5, and he's really getting on the gas here around these corners. He wants to climb his car into a better position to finish tonight's event. But Mike, it seems as it fanned out just a little bit there as you see the Compton, as you see Nicholas Compton and Riley Hoots are really the battle that's taking place here on the track. The rest of the field is single file here. Taking a look at Nicholas Compton there. But a second difference between those two drivers there. Of course, we do want to give a shout out to the Compton brothers who are racing memorial paint schemes for their father who passed away quite some, I believe it was a year or 2 ago. The dude who raced those paint schemes in honor of him. So big shout out to them as well. We learned that last week during the broadcast, and good on them for honoring their dad in tonight's event. But we'll see if Nick has got the speed to climb up to Riley there. If not, this is going to be the final lap on the track here. This is the last call, the white flag here at the road course at Daytona. Taking a look at the leader of Matthew Badby. He's got quite a lead on the rest of the field here. This is basically his glory lap, his show-off lap there in the Napa Auto Parts machine there in the 89. And we got a little sideways there exiting that corner. And Mike, as a road course racer yourself, how impressive is this victory here tonight?
Wow, it's did not expect Matthew to come out with the victory. Well, I'm not gonna say yet because it's not over, but you know we've seen Parker, dominate the first stage. We've seen Parker dominate the second stage. Riley, yes, came home with the victory in the second stage, but it was Parker that was 1-2 stage. The start of the second stage, we've seen Parker have a little bit of problems. Then we see Riley have had to lead for a little bit. Then he had a little bit of problems. So
as you see,
this is going to be, for Matthew, not pushing the issue, not doing anything, stupid, and being smart about it.
as you see, Matthew is creating around those last couple corners here, back up under the embankment. Looks like he is going to be our race winner here tonight. Again, we get him just taking that final corner around here. He's going to go ahead and take the checkered flag here at the High Octane Sim Series. Just a second here. It's the last little chicane around the track here, and he's going to be our race winner here, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Badby in that 89. I'll go ahead and Need for Speed that thing sideways across the finish line if I were him. But nonetheless, he does pick up the race victory here tonight. That is his 4th victory on the season. In that meantime, we'll go ahead and jump back to that battle for second place going on between Riley Hoots, because it looks like that's heating up. Oh, as you see Riley get up onto that turtle. As you see Nicholas Compton try to battle him on that last little bit there. They're going to be Riley Hoots coming home in 2nd position and Nicholas Compton in the 3rd position. Parker Collins is going to come home 4th there. Looks like Zachary Compton's going to round out our top 5. After that, looks like David Medina has solidified himself in the 6th position. Coming across the line right now. Yep, there goes Funky Cold Medina. Good on him, putting that thing back up in the top 10. Here comes Thomas in that 51. He's going to come home 7th position. Bledsoe in that 42 looks like he's going to go ahead and solidify 8th position there. He's had quite an eventful race, Mike, but good on him and getting that car back up into the top 10. He's going to finish a lap down here in tonight's event, but big congratulations to Matthew Badby for picking up the victory here at the road course at Daytona. His 4th victory on the season, Mike. Man, what a big win for him. He's really showing his stuff here. He's won half the races here in the High Octane Sim Series Cup Series. And he is really showing out and showing everything that he's got for these boys here, racing out of the Sunshine State of Florida, right out of Palm Bay, and a little bit of love there from the teammates. Big win for Matthew.
Definitely. So that's what now, 4-time winner?
Yes, sir. 4-time winner.
And definitely.
James. And of course, we want to let everybody know if we'll go ahead and conduct driver interviews, but of course these interviews will be a little bit different here tonight. Instead of us asking questions about the race and all the usual stuff we would usually do here at 10-4 Broadcasting, we just invite you guys to come up into the booth and the floor is yours. Whatever that you'd like to say to Matthew and his family and the unfortunate passing of Jill, his mom, on Wednesday. So we invite, even if you didn't finish in the top 3, we invite you to come up and say a few words if you like. Just let us know and you can jump up in the booth with us anytime. And what a race here tonight, Mike. Quite a show that was put on by these drivers. It was a mixture. We had Parker Collins, like you said, pick up that stage 1 victory. Riley Hoots played a little bit of strategy to stay out there, picked up the stage 2 victory. Then after that, it just seems as though Matthew got really comfortable as you see a nice dedication taking place here on the track as they're burning it down. In memory of Jill, Michelle Sides, Wilson. I do want to send all of our deep thoughts and sympathies to Matthew and his family in this dark time. And stay quiet as we take a look at the special dedication taking place. Ahead and take a look at our finishing results there. Matthew Badby, of course, is going to be our race winner here on the road course at Daytona. That is, I believe that is last week's results there.
Oh,
We'll
my
go
bad.
ahead and, it was
There we go.
Matthew Badby was the race winner here in tonight's event. Riley Hoots, good effort, finishing in the top 3. He's going to come home P2 there. Another solid finish out of him. Nicholas Compton, man, what a great run out of him tonight at the road course. Going to come home on the podium in P3. Parker Collins is going to be P4 there. Man, what a great charge out of him to come all the way from the back of the pack there. Climb his car up into the top 5. Zachary Compton, your favorite driver there, Mike, is going to come home P5. Nice top 5 finish for him. David Medina, great race out of him. I know he got in some early trouble there, but kept that car solid on the track. Come home P6 here tonight. Kelly Thomas going to come home P7 there in the 51. Alan Bledsoe, we saw him get caught up in a little bit of late race antics, if you will. He's going to come home P8 in that 42 machine. Darren Staff just couldn't get that speed to get up there with his teammate Parker Collins at Tiny Dog Racing. He's going to come home P9. Nick Shell in that 8 machine is going to come home P10. Ryan Clark is going to be P11 there. James Brosker, who we saw have a lot of troubles here at the road course, maybe he's going to have a lot more speed for us at Richmond next week. He's going to come home P12. And then, of course, Rye Lewis is going to be P13. And then Bob Carroll and Derek Schilling, who unfortunately shut their cars off early in tonight's event. They are going to come home P14 and P15 respectfully. And that was quite a race here at the road course, Mike.
Definitely, I was looking forward to it. I know this, road course in any type of league format definitely puts on one good race. Um, a lot of people might say, "Oh, that was a boring race." No, it wasn't. It was actually, it had its dominations, yes, but the one thing it had its mistakes, and we've seen, Parker, Riley, you know, we even seen a couple other drivers have mistakes. We've seen Allen, also have a little bit of mistakes, but guess what? That's the verge of road course racing, and Matthew was able to capitalize there at the end.
Yeah, great racing out of the boys here tonight at the road course at Daytona, and we'll see if we can't get our top 3 finishers here up in the booth here. Looks like Nicholas Compton is not available here yet. Let's see if we can't bring in Zachary Compton, who finished just outside of his brother there. I believe he's going to come home P5, so we'll see if we can't bring Zachary here up into the booth. Hey, Zachary, Mike and Will up here in the 10-4 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
What's up, Mike? Will, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. I'll go ahead and give the floor to you, man, and anything that you'd like to say, either about tonight's race or to Matthew or anything regarding tonight's event, we'll go ahead and let you have the floor.
Well, first and foremost, like I told you guys last week, my brother and I lost our dad, unfortunately, a few years ago. So I understand the loss of a parent, and I feel for Matthew. Uh, I'm sure Nicholas and I, our prayers and condolences go out to the Wilson family, and uh, it's never easy. I ain't gonna say, I know what he feels like because it's everyone's different, and it's just the racing community is here for him if he needs us. Obviously on Discord or wherever. Uh, it's unfortunate. I mean, I hate that it happened, but like I said, thoughts and prayers out to him and his family, and uh, one day, I mean, things. I mean, I won't say they'll get better, but eventually you learn to live with it, and everyone copes and grieves in a different way, and even my brother and I have, you know, stuff like that. So,
Like happened.
but well, no, heck, I finished fifth, but obviously, my brother was probably the better Compton brother tonight. He was the way he was flying around this track. He deserves the airtime. But no, I and James Journey, the JCM boys, James Compton Motorsports. We run it after our dad, and we ran a good race. We can't complain. Both got top fives, and that's back to back for us. And we'll move on to Richmond, I think, is next week. So, yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Zach, and I know that you, unfortunately you can relate in this situation, but I have invited the entire Kenny Power Motorsports team in here, and boys, the floor is yours, and whatever you guys would like to say, it's all you guys.
I want to start off by saying that, I am completely proud of this team. As much as we've been able to rally around Matt this week, I know
1-2
he's really
finish.
needed us, and to come out here and put up a 1-2 finish is just awesome. Matthew, my cousin, one heck of a driver, and was the class of the field tonight. But really, all of us as a team together and showing our support for Matt this week has just been awesome. And to cap it off with a great run tonight, I'm sure made him proud. But yeah, I think I speak for Matthew too when I say this is for the Wilson family tonight.
Yeah, this one is definitely for Matthew and his brother and dad and all family. I cannot imagine what this is like. So I I'm glad that we could go out here and go pull a 1-2 off for them, and yeah.
Yeah, and racing with these guys, we kind of become a little family within ourselves. So it's rough. We're trying to be strong for Matt and help him get through this.
Yeah.
You know,
Go ahead,
I've
James.
I've said it a million times. I consider Matt a brother to me. I've had the privilege to meet his family, great people, and anything we can do for you, brother, anything you need at all, don't hesitate.
I second that 100%.
Yeah, we've had a tough year at KPM. Had someone going through some rough times earlier this year, and we ran the Daytona 24 and just kind of put his name on the car, and this is a little bit different because it's a tougher loss than that, but I'm not comparing anything, but we just want to show our support for everybody involved in this team, and we are a big family, guys.
Yeah, the
It's
bottom
awesome.
line is this team is a family, and I wouldn't want to race with anybody else on my team. I love these guys.
I mean, we may all bicker and argue and fuss and fight and make fun of one another, but at the end of the day, you guys are 100% right. This is all about us and us being a family.
Yeah, just think about our conversation in Discord couple weeks ago. Some bickering and definite squabbles go on, but it's great being a part of this team.
Yeah, definitely cherish you guys' memories before and always look towards the future.
Absolutely.
For real, for sure.
And of course, again, here at 10-4 Broadcasting, we want to send our deepest sympathies, our thoughts, our prayers, all of that good stuff. I know nothing that any of us can say or anything that we can do is going to change how Matthew's feeling in this moment. But we hopefully provided some sort of a distraction for him here tonight, just take his mind off of things for a little while. And if Nick's here, Nick, did you want to say anything to Matthew or to his family here? I'll go ahead and let you have the floor.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm very proud of all you guys. You can kind of hear I'm kind of emotional right now.
That's
all
what
right,
this is all about.
It's all right.
This is what we imagined HOSS to be right here in this fucking chat. Sorry for my language. Right here in this chat, right here. One family, drivers sticking up for each other and doing what we need to do to help each other, pull each other up when we're all down, right?
100%.
So I do want to say I'm proud of all you guys. Thank you, 10-4, for making the broadcast what it was tonight. I know it was last minute. James Brosker, he reached out to me this morning, and I pretty much worked all day to get this to where it was supposed to be.
And thank you so much for putting all that work in.
No, thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you to 10-4. You guys have been great ever since you came on board, and everything you did for my friend tonight was awesome. And Nick, thank you for all the work that you put into this league every week, and for making this work out for him. I know this meant the world to him, and he had an awesome time watching and cheering us on tonight, and it really gave him something to smile about in a week that's been so dark for him.
Absolutely. And Matt, I know you're listening. If you need anything, brother, reach out. Me and you spoke earlier today. What I told you rings true. Just don't give us.
Nick, could you repeat that? It got a little bit robotic there.
Basically, what
Oh,
Nick
my bad.
was saying is, if you have feelings, open them up and talk to everybody. Don't let them hold in, because if you let them hold in, it can come out in the worst time, and you don't want that.
Absolutely.
And in the worst way.
Yes.
Well, guys, if there's any closing things that you would like to say or anything, I'll go ahead and let you have that. And then I think the best way to close out tonight's broadcast is to go ahead and, after you guys say your closing things, to have a moment of silence for Jill Michelle Wilson Sides to close out this broadcast.
I think I can speak collectively for the team when we say thank you guys so much for making this happen, not for just our friend, but our brother.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Of course. Alrighty, everybody, and for myself, Will, and for Mike here up in the 10-4 broadcasting booth, we want to appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's race. I know it's a different race than what's usually put on here at the High Octane Sim Series, and this memorial race for Jim Michelle Wilson Sides, and we'll go ahead and have that moment of silence before we go off the air here. And again, our deepest thoughts and sympathies are with Matthew and his family in this time, and man, what a tough time. But we'll go ahead and have that moment of silence, and we want to wish everybody a good night, and we'll see everybody next Friday.